My name is Noela, and I'm from Congo, and I am a poet, a storyteller, a woman, a black woman. I am a daughter, a sister, a friend, a human being. I'm a cat sometimes. I'm a flower sometimes. I'm a dragon sometimes. I'm fire sometimes. I'm earth sometimes. I'm nature sometimes. I am a lot. I'm everything and nothing at the same time. I'm a child of God, but I'm also my own goddess within. I'm the child of the moon, the trees. I'm a lot.
Yes,
I'm a lot. Yeah.
That's true. I like the introduction there. Good. You're from Congo. Which Congo are you talking about?
Kinshasa.
Kinshasa? Okay. So you're from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yeah.
When did you come to Denmark?
I came to Denmark when I was 10 years old. And I've been here ever since. I haven't been back to Congo because of paperwork and stuff. And now I can go back. Now I just need money. But
why Denmark? Why did you choose to come to Denmark?
I didn't choose to come to Denmark. I had no choice. My dad chose for me to come to Denmark. So as a diaspora, you just follow. So that's why I'm here. It was not my choice. I would have loved to stay in Congo if I had a choice, but that's not how life wanted me to go.
And how much do you recall Congo?
Congo, everything. I feel like I left Congo, but Congo is still in me. All my memories are still in my heart. Congo is also one of my biggest inspiration for writing. So I remember everything. I remember the houses, I remember the people, the games, the culture, the language. I remember basically everything. And obviously things have changed from my memories and my nostalgia, but I hope that the vibe is the same.
You still got friends that you in contact with in Congo?
Friends?
Yeah.
No, actually not. I'm only in contact with my family, but not friends anymore. Yeah. But I also had like 2 friends when I was there, cause yeah, I'm a weirdo. I'm not so good with humans. I attract a lot of humans, but I don't connect with so many humans, cause I'm more connected to nature and animals and the bigger picture. And also I prefer to have like a few close people close to me than to have a whole bunch of unnecessary people around me. Yeah.
Now let's talk about life in Denmark. You were here all these years since you came after you were 10 years old, as you said. Mm-hmm. How it is all these years in this country?
It's been tough. Psychologically, it's been tough, and it's been a journey. It's been tough because I was the only black kid in my class until high school. Then there was 2 other black kids in my class. But before high school, I was the only black kid on the whole school, so that was quite tough. And just always, in Congo, I wasn't really that aware of my skin color because everybody was black, so it was like your personality that you got judged on and your individuality. But here, it doesn't matter if you have a personality or not. The things they see is just like blackness or black body. So I think that's annoying that I have to fight so much more for my identity here. And even though I do, I'm still put in the box of being this nigger. So it's been difficult also, like culture-wise, the weather is shit. The people here are not so opening and welcome as my people from Congo. The people here are not so helping. They are fake and like passive-aggressive, I will say. They pretend to be nice, but behind your back, they're not that nice. So I've gotten a lot of trust issues, and I've become way more antisocial being here than being away from home. And yeah, it's been really tough, but then again, it's been good like finding those few spaces where there's some black people where you can come and then get the feeling of home again, and the feeling of being understood, and the feeling of being included, and just being a human again, basically. So that's been really healing to find those spaces and places here in Denmark. And I hope to find more, not necessarily in the same space, but I'm just an outlook for black people in this wide space.
But do you think that being in Denmark, you're kind of excluded from the society?
Yeah, I will say that I'm excluded a lot because I've did everything that the white men want me to do, but I'm still here with an education, jobless, and all that stuff. So I feel like, I don't know, it's really difficult for the Danish culture to be a part of it and to integrate and to... I speak the language, like I do everything that they expect you to do, but I'm still not happy here.
What will make you to be happy in this country? As you said that you're not happy in this country.
The removal of racism. I think racism is taking... It's a lot to deal with on an everyday basis, and it's a lot on your psyche to constantly have to deal with it or suppress it. People deal with it differently. I chose to not suppress it, but being in touch with it on a daily basis, I think is really harmful on the psychological aspect of the human psyche. And I don't know, obviously I can't change the culture here, but the people's mindset, they could be more tolerant, more grateful, more, I don't know, welcoming, more friendly, and more accepting. It's almost as if you have to choose between being Danish or being the other. And when you have multiple cultures, then you can't choose. Then you just have all those multiple cultures. So I think it's difficult here to navigate me as a whole here, because I feel boxed down and I feel limited, and I don't feel free here, and freedom is a big part for me to gain happiness.
But do you think that this is a problem that you only face, or all the blacks in Denmark? What the story you hear from friends you have?
As I said earlier, I think it depends on how you deal with racism, because those who suppress it and have choose to ignore it, they say like, oh, I don't feel anything here, blah blah. But those who have chose to remove their glasses and see the reality as it is, I feel like it's the same narrative that I hear over and over again, and it's tiring that it's the same story just in different bodies, and it never ends. And I think that's what's the most exhausting thing, that this is not something new. Racism is not new. It's been here longer than I've been, and it will continue to stay here if we don't do anything about it. And
well, that's the question I was thinking to. What to do?
What to do? Well, talk about it first of all is a thing. Denmark as a nation has this stupid attitude of pretending that racism doesn't exist here, or it's not that big, or blah blah blah. So first of all, we need like a discourse that admit that racism is an issue. So when black people come out and say, hey, this is racist, blah blah blah, then we can take it seriously, instead of like silencing the people or like making the problem less problematic than it actually is. So I think like awareness and acceptance of the reality here. And Denmark needs to stop pretending that it's such a great country and it's the happiest country in the world, because there's a lot of fucked up things happening here. And I think the more we talk about it, the more we will see Denmark for what it is. Because a lot of people here are like suffering mentally. A lot of people are not happy here, even though it's the happiest place on earth. Happy for who is what I want to know.
I was supposed to ask you exactly that question. Well, this is Scandinavia is considered one of the happiest place to live, and then you say that they're not happy. And I talked to many other blacks they've got certain problems, so that they're not happy. But why is that blacks are not feeling happy in this country?
Because we're not welcome here. I think that's the main issue. We don't feel welcome, like systematically we're not welcome. Culturally we're not welcome. Race-wise, we just are not welcome here. Like black people are not welcome anywhere on this earth, basically. So we always I don't know, I'm just tired of no matter where I go, Black people are always like struggling. I'm tired of our struggle. I want us to rise and shine and sit on our throne that we rightfully belong to.
Last time I met you, it was the first time was this poetry vibe. So let's talk about poetry. You wrote, or at least you read last time a nice, beautiful poem. I don't know if you never recall the name. I think some. I am not.
I think, therefore, I am not.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
How do you get this inspiration to write what especially you wrote last time or you read last time?
I use everyday experiences as inspiration. So when I wrote that poem, I was sitting in my philosophy class, and yeah, there was me and another half Kenyan woman who was the only non-white people in there. And then all the things we were reading was from dead white men, and I kind of disagree with what these academics were saying, but I knew if I wrote that in my paper, then I wouldn't pass. So I used that for my creativity instead and put it in my poems instead. So that's kind of my way of resisting the traditional westernized educational system, because it's too white. As I said, I am a lot, so there's a lot of women inside of me. So it's easy for me to tap into all those experiences and voices and get them out, and then other people out there can then relate to it. I'm quite versatile, is that what you call it, in my personality? So I'm a lot of people in one people, so it's not, I don't need to go out and have experience from other. I can just go into my own heart and soul and then get it out from within, if that makes sense. So no, I just use me, myself, and I as inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we hear a little bit of the poem that you wrote last time?
With this being said, I think, therefore I am not. I am not less or more than a white woman. I am my own kind of woman. I am not to be compared with others. I am enough for myself. I don't need your approval, and I don't care about your rejection. My gender is mine and mine alone, and not up to anybody else to define or control. Just like my blackness. Leave it to me because I got plenty to do with it. My gender, my race, and my sexuality are being choked behind your white masks. I cannot breathe. My black skin behind these masks are finally strong enough to rip them off and tear them apart. My blackness is clean and pure and ready to breathe. Do not underestimate it. It can do more than you know, more than you think. I think, therefore, I am not only a black body. I think, therefore, I am more than my blackness. Do not reduce me. I cannot be tamed. Hence, I am not a beast. I'm just a strong, powerful black woman. And if you cannot understand that, ask yourself why. Why is it so difficult for you to imagine a black woman as such? And if you feel a strong, powerful black woman, again, ask yourself why. Why do we threaten you by being strong, powerful black woman? Why do we have to resist in order to exist? What do you want from us? Because we certainly want nothing from you. We were just fine before your white dramatic ass decided to come over and fuck some shit up. We had our own different cultures going on, spoke multiple indigenous tongues with no problem whatsoever, and none of the languages were the dominant one. They were all respected equally. We could feed and nourish our people for generations. We had our own wisdom and belief system that helped us survive the war and formed our ancestors and our history. We had our own ethics and morals, which didn't need scientific validation. Instead, spirituality, magic, and nature were the leading guides. We had it all under control. until you decided to come over and fuck with us without our consent. You just raped us for so many years and still systematically traumatizing us. How many times do you need to force your dick inside of us before you realize and acknowledging that you're hurting us? Don't you see? We're already at the bottom of the hierarchy of humanity. So if rape is a power and dominance thing, systematically, you already won. But what more does your white privileged dick want? How loud do we need to scream before you stop? How hard do we need to kick you back before you run away and get cut? How much more clothes do we need to put on as protection before you leave us alone? Apparently, rape is linked to clothes in female cases. But although I am covered up in this black uniform, you keep undressing me of my blackness and afterwards accusing me of being naked, like it was my own fault to get raped in the first place. You put this nudity on me and then use it as a reason and a weapon to abuse me. But I think, therefore, I am not your rape victim. Regardless of my outfit, you have no right to do with me as you desire. I did not dress for you. My outfit was not put on for your sake. I wear my blackness alone. Just like an outfit is not an invitation for rape, my blackness is not an invitation for oppression. So get your fucking dick out of my dry pussy. It will never get wet for you, because you never asked for this. You just raped it. Raped us. I think, therefore I am not your rape victim. I think, therefore I am not an angry black woman. My feelings are not overreaction or ghetto stereotype behaviors. I do not react in a certain way because I'm black. I react in a certain way because black people get treated in a certain way. My narrative is just one out of many. My feelings are valid and I have all the right for my anger. Wouldn't you feel some type of way if you also just got raped?
I just was not thinking a couple of things that you just mentioned. You talk about the black women, all the rape issues, and I know, for example, in Congo is one of the biggest issues that's going on right there. Do you have got much knowledge of what's going on in Congo? Do you ever wrote something or what is happening there? This is exactly what you reflect in your poem?
Yeah, I do know that it's a big issue in Congo, and it's not issue that is taken so seriously, because Congo is a quite mainly dominated country. And I'm also speaking through my own experience and stuff like that, my own personal experience. So I mix my own experience and the pain and sorrow from Congo, because I know their voices are not heard. So if I can, I don't know, use my body to get their pain and voice out as well, that would be my pleasure. Because this is a thing we need to talk about, because it's so normalized and it's so like taboo, like can talk about it because a lot of it also happen in family and stuff like that. So we need to break all those taboos and generational pain and trauma so people can start loving each other instead of paining each other. One of my biggest dream and project and goals in life as I'm studying psychology and culture is to go there and build like a home for women and children who are exactly in those cases, and to first of all to validate their feelings and to give them tools to like overcome the traumas and to give them some sort of safety and stuff like that, so they don't end up as a soldier or whatever, because they just bring more pain and trauma. So my goal is definitely to do something about that in the future also. I'm working on making a poetry collection, and then on the side I'm also working on a book, but that's gonna take like years, maybe 10 years. That's my little baby. But the poet book I will start doing that when I'm done with school. I use non-verbal communication a lot to be heard. So I wear a lot of colors because that's a reminder of me in Congo. I grew up with colors everywhere, and Congolese people are just colorful people. So that's a way of expressing my identity. And also in this Denmark, everything is black, green, white. So yeah, putting some colors on really makes you see, even though, because in the beginning when I did it, it wasn't to get attention, it wasn't to be seen. But then when I received all that attention, I found out that I can use that as a way of expressing myself just by wearing a lot of colors. And then I use silence, funnily enough, as a way to be heard. And with that I mean I'm a quite spiritual person, so I work a lot on my energy. So I want my energy to speak for itself. So I barely don't have to use words, because energy can lie. Not because I'm planning on lying, but energy can lie, and energy is really real. So if you have a profound, powerful, good energy, then everybody will feel it, whether or not they want to or no.
Do you think the blacks are in denial of themselves or ourselves when, especially, we are trying to deny our blackness, like bleaching ourselves, or kind of thing like that?
I think some are and some are not. The ones who are the one, as you said, bleaching their skin, who don't embrace their own hair, and who don't have like a black partner or something like that. Not because there is something wrong with dating outside of your race, but if you only do it purposely to not have black kids or stuff like that, to come away from your blackness, then that is a huge issue. Then you hate yourself basically, and you're trying to escape that through other races. So that's a big denial, I would say. If you only date white to get lighter kids or stuff like that. But then there's also a lot who are doing the opposite, who are trying to embrace their blackness. I'm trying to do that myself, and I'm trying to empower and inspire other black people to just be black and awesome, because that's what we are. But I feel like there's like a 50-50, that some are running away from it and some are trying to get back to it. So it's difficult for us to like be united. We have to accept our blackness. I think that's the first step, and we have to, because when you accept something, then it's easier to love it, and it's easier to be it, and it's easier to not judge it or run away from it and face it. So we need like definitely more positive narrative on blackness. And we need to create our own narrative, because if we constantly get fed by the narrative from outside, which are not made by us, then obviously it's gonna get negative. And if you don't know better, then you're gonna be ignorant, and then you're gonna get stuck in that negative narrative about black people. So I will encourage also more black people to interact with each other. And I think sometimes it could be difficult for black people here in Europe to like interact with each other. I don't know why. And I think we just have to break those barriers and find home within each other, because we as black people in the diaspora are the closest that we can get to home, or to the home feeling. So I don't know, in my other poems I'm also trying to talk a lot about love and acceptance, and trying to elevate black people in the sense that I talk about us as goddesses and kings and queen and stuff like that, just to make us see us in a different light, and to, I don't know, appreciate ourselves even more. I don't know. It really said in me that I don't know, that sometimes we don't see our own beauty in ourselves unless a white person validates it or something like that. I'm just tired of that we don't look within. We always look outside, and the outside doesn't want the best for us. So can we just come back into the center and come back to our heart and come back to our soul and connect back with our blackness? Because it's not as dark as they're trying to paint it out there. There's a lot of beauty in it. There's a lot of strength in it. There's a lot of love in it. And black love for me is the strongest kind of love here, and it's revolutionary, actually, black love. And that can mean black love is you as a black person loving yourself, or you as a black person in a relationship with another black person. And I don't know, just like normalize that black love.
What is black for you?
That's a difficult one. I don't know, it's more than skin color, I will say. It's a diversity is what blackness is. Also, but even though with skin color, you can have the lightest black people and the darkest black people. So there's like all, just with blackness, there's everything you want, you know? There's everything you want in it. And I think that's magical and that's beautiful and that's powerful. That we come in so many shape and forms, and we're still black at the end of the day, whether you're light or whether you're dark. So also this whole light skin, dark skin, it's bullshit. We're just niggas at the end of the day. It's not because a racist cop is gonna look at me and be like, oh no, you lied, so I'm gonna let you be and go after it. No, they see the same. So maybe we should start seeing ourselves the same a little bit more, instead of trying to see ourselves as the white man see us. Because the white man don't see us with beauty, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So yeah, black is beautiful. That's what it is. Yeah, black is beautiful, black is powerful, black is magic, black is everything. I'm so happy to be black. I wouldn't switch it up with anything else. It's a blessing to be black. Black people are a blessing to this earth. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.